Hi there, and welcome to another video with regards to the AQA Linear GCSE Higher paper. This is practice paper set 4 and it's the non-calculator paper. An hour and a half it should be, but we should do it much quicker than that. Right, let's start with question 1. We're asked to reflect the triangle in the line x is 1. Firstly, draw the line x is 1. You should know by now that the line x is 1 is this line here. It's where the x-coordinate is always 1. So all of these points where the x-coordinate is 1. If we reflect this triangle here, well, one corner is already on the line. This corner here is 2 away, so we go 1, 2 away. And this corner is 2 away, so we go 2 away. And with our ruler, we would draw in the triangle. And simple as that, for the easiest 2 marks you will find on a higher paper. Okay, next, solve this equation for 3 marks. So again, another easy 3 marks to get us 4 marks. Firstly, let us subtract 9 from both sides. So we would have 6x is equal to 2x. Now, negative 5, subtract another 9 would be negative 14. Okay, then we're going to take away 2x off both sides to get all the x's together. We would have 4x is equal to negative 14, and if we divide by 4, finally, we would have x is equal to negative 14 over 4, which if we simplify, divide top and bottom by 2, we would get negative 7 over 2, or negative 7 divided by 2, which is negative 3.5. Therefore, x is negative 3.5, but before we would move on, we must always check our answer. Okay, always check you've got it right. Now, 6 times negative 3.5. Well, let's just think of 6 times 3.5. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times a half is 3. So this would be 6 times negative 3.5 would be negative 21. 18 and a 3 and make that negative. And then plus 9. And we would get on this side, therefore the answer must be negative 12. And on this side, negative 3.5 times 2 is negative 7. Subtract 5 is negative 12 as well. We've done our check, we know we're right. Again, this is 4 easy marks to start the paper off. Okay, next, another 3 easy marks. P is a prime number less than 20. Q is a square number less than 20. P plus Q is 29. Work out P and Q. What I would do is I would write the prime numbers P less than 20. So P could be, the first prime number is 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17 and 19, okay? And Q could be, what square numbers are less than 20? Well, it could be 1, it could be 4, it could be 9, it could be 16, okay? And which 2 of these add up to 29? We'll just look at them. Which 2 add up to 29? It would be 13 and 16. So P must be 13 and Q must be 16. Again, very, very simple 3 marks. Already you can see, looking back at the start, 2 easy marks, plus 3 is 5, plus 3 is 8, unbelievably easy marks. Question 4. In a game, the arrow in each spinner is spun. If the arrow lands on the same picture, a prize is won. Work out the probability of winning a prize. You may find the grid below, or in this case over here, useful. Okay, so let's list the outcomes along the top here for the 4. That's chocolate, teddy, balloon, and car. And on this one here, we've got balloon, teddy, and chocolate. Okay, so where would they be the same? They would be the same here, balloon and balloon. They would be the same here, Ted and Ted, and they would be the same here and here, both chocolate. Okay, so what's the probability of winning a prize? Well, the probability of winning, how many ways have you got? You've got 1, 2, 3 ways of the same, so it'd be 3 out of a total of 4 times 3, which is 12. Okay, so it's 3 out of 12, which you could simplify to a quarter. Okay, 4 marks here for an absolutely easy question there. Easy. And just to show you how you get the full marks, you get 1 mark for filling in the table, 2 marks for identifying the winners, 3 marks for writing 3 over 12, and the 4th mark for simplifying your fraction. Okay, multiply out the following, okay, and factorise the following. Standard questions here, very straightforward. 5 times x, 5x, subtract 5 times 3 is 15. Factorise the following. Can we think of a number that divides into 3y and 12? Well, 3 does. And then in our brackets, 3y divided by the 3 leaves me with y. Keep your subtract. 12 divided by the 3 gives me 4. Again, always check after factorise that it works by expanding out. If you expanded, you would get 3y, subtract 12. Yeah, it works. Expand and simplify the following. So this is, again, another 2 easy marks. Let's expand this. 2 times 3w is 6w. 2 times 2 is 4, so it's plus 4. And then here, got positive 3 here, so it's positive 3 times 5w is 15w. And positive 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Now we can combine like terms. 6w plus 15w is 21w, and positive 4 plus 4 subtract 3 is plus 1. So the answer is simply 21w plus 1. Okay, again, if we go back to the start here and we think how much easy marks there are, 2, 5, 8, 12, 14 and 16, already 16 unbelievably easy marks. Okay, here's a conversion graph. This is a graph where on the x-axis we have miles per hour and on the y-axis we have meters per second. So if I say, for example, let's pick something easy, 5 miles an hour. 5 miles an hour is approximately 2.5 meters per second. Okay, so that's what that graph's showing me. Okay, use your graph to convert 50 meters per second to miles per hour. So you're going from 50 meters per second 2 miles per hour. So 50 meters per second, well, what we could do is, we could, instead of 50, what we could do is we could, let's say, do 10 meters per second here. So let's draw a line across here. 10 meters per second is approximately, that looks to me like 22.5. Okay, so 10 meters per second is 22.5 miles per hour. So therefore 50 meters per second multiplied by 5, this multiplied by 5 here, well, 20 multiplied by 5 is 100, 2.5 multiplied by 5 is 12.5, so it's 112.5 miles per hour. Okay, Carl runs 100 meters in 9.98 seconds. Use the graph to estimate his average speed in miles per hour. So he runs 100 meters in 9.98 seconds. So his speed is his distance over time is 100 over 9.98, which if we're estimating is about 100 over 10, which is 10 meters per second, right? So again, we look at 10 meters per second. We've already done this. 10 meters per second is about 22.5 miles per hour. 22.5 miles per hour. Okay, question 7. 10 students record the time they spend watching TV in an evening. Here's the time in hours, and here's the score they got in their test the next day. Plot a scatter graph. The first 5 have been done. So 2.25 against 10 has been done. That one. 1 against 90 has been done. 1 hour. 1 hour against 90 has been done. This one's been done, this one's been done, and this one's been done. So we need to do these ones. Okay, so 1.75 hours against a mark of 34. So 1.75 hours is here against a mark of 34, which would be about here. 1.25 hours against 76. So 1.25 against 76, which would be, there's 70, so 6 would be there. 2.5 against 8, so 2.5 against hours against a score of 8 marks, so 2.5 against a score of about 8. 1.5 against a score of 40, so 1.5 against a score of 40, and 0.5 against a score of 93, 0.5 against a score of 92 and 3, roughly there. Okay, describe the correlation. Well, clearly we've got a downward trend there. It's called a negative correlation. And the head teacher wants to encourage students to revise more for tests. How does the data support the head teacher? Well, the data is showing that the less time you spend watching TV in the evening before a test, the bigger your score is. Okay, so the less time you spend watching TV before a test, the better your mark. Or the way you could phrase it alternatively, you could say, therefore, the less time you revise because you're spending more time watching TV, the worse your mark, the worse your test mark. Okay? Another student scored 60 on the test. Used the scatter graph to estimate the number of hours she watched the TV the evening before. Show clearly how you obtained your answer. To do this, you go back to your graph. You must draw a line of best fit. A line of best fit starts in line with the first one on the x-axis, ends in line with the second one. It must have try and get as many through the line of best fit as you can, and the same number of above and below the line. Now, currently, the way I've put it, I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3 below the line. So that's not good enough there, I would say. I would go for something like that. Something like that's probably a bit better. A 1 on the line, exactly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 above, 1, 2, 3, 4 below, something like that. And 60 on a test, so you must interpolate, you must draw the line 60 out on the test and read across. It's about 1.25 hours there or thereabouts. So I would say the answer is 1.25 hours. And I would say C graph, just to show that's your working, your interpolation there. You must draw a line of best fit, that's 1 mark, and then interpolating gets you the second mark. Okay, Jane uses her calculator to work out the following. Use the calculator display to help you with the following. Now, she works out that 36 multiplied by 24 is 864. What facts do you know from that? Well, you also know that 24 multiplied by 36 is 864. Just the order of multiplication doesn't matter. And also you know that 864 divided by 36 must give you 24, and 864 divided by 24 must give you 36. You know those facts from that calculator display. Okay, so we are asked what 36 times 12 is. Well, we know 36 times 24 is equal to 864. Okay, so therefore 36 multiplied by 12, 12 is half of 24, it must be half the answer, so it must be 432. Simple as that, right? Next one, 37 times 24. Well, you knew 36 24s are 864, right? 36 lots of 24 are 864. So 37 lots of 24 must be this, add in another 24. So it must be 864 plus 24, which would be equal to 888. And lastly, this division here. Well, from this fact up here, you knew that 864 divided by 36 is equal to 24. So therefore 8640 divided by 36, where the numerator is 10 bigger, the answer must be 10 bigger, it must be 240. Simple 3 marks. Okay, there are 2 radio masts on an island. Mast A has a range of 40 kilometres, mast B has a range of 50 kilometres, 1 centimetre represents 10 kilometres. Okay, so what we do here, can all the parts of the island receive radio signals? Show how you decide. This is a question about loci. Firstly, get your ruler out. Okay, get the ruler out, and you're going to need a pair of compasses. So the first thing you want to do is, it has a range of 40, so you want to, from A, draw a circle radius 4 centimetres around it. Okay, so drag that out so it's 4 centimetres exactly, about there, put that on the line, and then draw a circle. That shows us that everything 4 kilometres away from A has mast A in its location. Now the next one, you want to go for mast B, and you want to say 50 kilometres, which is 5 centimetres. Okay, so I'm going to change colour pen here, and we're going to draw a line around there. So the question is, can all parts of the island receive a radio signal? Well, it looks to me like this part here can't, is outside, and these parts here are outside. So I would just say no, see green shaded parts. Okay, and you're done then. Question 20. Steep hills are shown by road signs following a percentage, for example 15%. This shows that for every 100 metres horizontally, the road rises 15 metres vertically. I.e., if you take the 15 and divide it by 100, you have 15 out of 100, which is 15%. Okay? Then it says the road rises 7 metres vertically for every 50 metres. Find the percentage. Well, extending this on, if you were to double this, so it was actually another 50, you would end up of going up 14. So it's clearly 14%. And next one, which of these 2 roads is the steepest? A 20% or this one here? Well, what I would do is I would remember that, what does 20% mean? 20%, I'll draw a picture to represent this. 20% means every 100 metres you go up 20, right? Now, let's draw another triangle here to represent this one here. This one represents 20%. Now, what do you have to times 40 by to get 100? Well, you have to times it by 2.5, right? And then you would get 100 metres. So you'd have to times this by 2.5 and you get 25 metres. So this must be 25%. Okay, so road A is 25%, and that's steeper than road B, which is 20%. So which road is steepest? Road A is therefore steepest. And I would also say C diagram. I think the diagram here makes it absolutely clear what's going on. Next question. We have 2 taps, tap A and tap B, and it says that tap A can fill the 100 litre barrel in 6 minutes, tap B can fill the 100 litre barrel in 3 minutes. Both taps are on. How long will it take to fill the barrel? Okay, let's just deal with tap A. It does 100 litres in 6 minutes. Okay, so therefore it's doing, let's divide top and bottom by 2, it's doing 50 litres every 3 minutes. Okay, and every 1 minute, let's divide top and bottom by 3. 50 divided by 3, well, let's just go over here and work out 50 divided by 3. 50 divided by 3, how many times is 3 going to 50? Well, 3 times 13 is 39, so 3 times 14 is 42, 3 times 15 is 45, 3 times 16 is 48. So it goes in 16 times, and 48, remainder 2, and then 3 goes into 20 6 times, put a 0, so it goes in 6 times, remainder 2. So it looks like 16.6777. So 16 and 2/3 litres every 1 minute. Okay, what about tab B? It does 100 litres in 3 minutes. So let's divide top and bottom by 3. It therefore does 33 1/3 litres every 1 minute. So therefore, if we let it run for 1 minute, it would have done 33 1/3 litre plus 16 2/3. So in 1 minute, it does 33 1/3 plus 16 2/3, which actually works out to 50 litres. Therefore, it's pretty clear that in 2 minutes, it would have done twice each of these. So twice 16 2/3 would be 33 1/3, and twice 33 1/3 would be 66 2/3, and it would have done 100 litres. So the answer is 2 minutes. Okay, 2 circles are drawn. Work out the shaded area. Give your answer in terms of pi. Okay, you should know that the area of a circle is pi r squared, and we've got 2 circles here, so the area of the shaded is clearly the area of the big circle subtract the area of the smaller circle, which would be pi times, the larger circle has radius 4, so pi times 4 squared, subtract pi times 2 squared. Okay, leave your answer in terms of pi, so leave the pi there. Pi times 4 squared is 16, so that's 16 pi, take away pi times 2 squared is 4, so subtract 4 pi is 12 pi, so the answer is 12 pi centimetres squared. Question 13. Draw the region represented by these inequalities, label your region R. Remember, when doing these, just start off by actually just drawing in forget about inequalities, just draw the line y is 5. Y is 5 is clearly this line here. Okay, and label that y equals 5. Then draw the line y equals x. Y equals x is a diagonal going through all these points here. So that's the line y equals x. And then x plus y is 4. Okay, easiest way to draw that is let x be 0, y would be 4. So when x is 0, y is 4. And then let y be 0 and x would be 4. So when y is 0, x is 4 here. And I would just draw a line between these two. Way more accurately than that, like this. Okay? Now we want to define our region. We wanted y to be bigger than y to be less than 5, so we want underneath. Okay, we want y to be bigger than x, so here, for example, the y number is bigger than the x number, so we want above this line. And for this one, we want x plus y to be bigger than 4. At this point, x plus y equals 4, you want it to be bigger than 4, so you want it above the line here. So here is your region R, this triangle here. Okay, solve the simultaneous equations. You cannot use trial and improvement. Okay, we've got 2 equations. 4x plus 3y is equal to 3, equation 1. Y is equal to 2x subtract 4, equation 2. Now, we did this in the previous video. You should notice here that you are given y as the subject of the formula. This is an expression for y, 2x subtract 4. So the easiest way to solve this is by substitution. Substitute in y is 2x minus 4 in place of y there, and you have an equation with just x's in it. Okay, so let's have a go at this. So you just sub 2 in 1. So you would have that 4x, as it was, plus 3. Now substitute with brackets. Instead of y, you're going to write 2x subtract 4. And that's equal to 3. Expand out, 4x plus 6x, and then 3 times negative 4 is negative 12, is equal to 3. Collect like terms. 10x subtract 12 is equal to 3. Add 12 to both sides. 10x is equal to 15. And then divide both sides by 10. X is 1.5. Okay, x is 1.5. Let's find y. Y is therefore 2 times 1.5, which is 3. 3 take away 1 is negative 1. So 1.5 and negative 1. Okay, check your answers. This one, it clearly works because 2 times 1.5 is 3. 3 take away 1 is negative 1. Let's check it works in the top simultaneous equation. 4 times 1.5 is 6. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. 6 subtract 3 is equal to 3. Hence, I've got it. Okay, question 15. Solve the following. Okay, you can't use the quadratic formula actually here. Well, you can, but it will be big numbers and a bit messy. What you're trying to do here is you're trying to factorise this quadratic equation. Now, there are two ways to do it. Trial and error way and methodical way. Let's do the methodical way first. The first thing you do is 6 times negative 12. So 6 times negative 12 is equal to negative 72. Then you ask yourself this question. What multiplies to negative 72 and adds to negative 1? Can you think of two numbers? Well, I can, and the two numbers are negative 9 and 8. Because it's 6x squared, you have a 6x in both brackets. You'd have a 6x subtract 9 in one bracket, and you'd have a 6x subtract plus 8 in another bracket, and that's equal to 0. Now you have to try and simplify where possible. What goes into 6x and 9? 3 does. So this would cancel down to 2x subtract 3. What goes into 6x and 8? Well, 2 does, so this would simplify to 3x plus 4. Therefore, either that bracket is 0, so 2x subtract 3 is 0. So x is add 3 and divide by 2, 3 over 2. Or 3x plus 4 is 0. Solve that, take away 4, divide by 3. X is therefore negative 4/3. So they are the potentially two answers you've got there. The other way of doing it is, if you set up your two brackets equals 0, how do you get 6x squared? Well, you either get 6x multiplied by x, so it could be 6x and x, or it would be 3x and 2x. You try out both. Let's say you try 3x and 2x. How do you get negative 12? Well, you get negative 12 by 4 and 3, 1 plus 1 minus. And if you had put a plus 4 in there and a minus 3 there, this is just by trial and error. This would work out for you because 3x times 2x is 6x squared. 3x times negative 3 is negative 9x. 4 times 2x is plus 8x, so negative 9x plus 8x is negative 1x. And then 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. I think it's probably easier to have a method about your work, so this might be best for you. Okay, question 16. ABC is a cyclic quadrilateral. You know, in a cyclic quadrilateral that the opposite angles add to 180. That's the rule you're supposed to know. These angles add to 180. Okay. These two add to 180 as well. PQ is a tangent to the circle. So this is a tangent. AB equals BD. So AB is equal to BD in length. So these are the same length. So you've got an isosceles triangle. AB is parallel to DC. AB is parallel to DC. These two are parallel as well. Angle QAD is 40. Work out the sides of DBC. So D to B to C, you want that angle there. Okay, it's 5 marks for this, so there may be quite a few steps of working. So let's just do each of our steps very, very simply. First thing we can state is this angle here must equal that angle there, because when a tangent meets a chord, it equals the opposite angle in the triangle formed. So we can say that angle ABD, this one, must be 40 degrees, and we can state the alternate segment theorem. Okay, that will definitely get us a mark. So that there is 40 degrees. Okay? Now, if that's 40 degrees, and this is an isosceles triangle here, these two angles must be are the same, obviously. So this angle and this angle must be, so we can state that BAD, this one, and BDA equals BDA, and they must equal 140 divided by 2, they must equal 70 degrees, and the reason is they are isosceles. So this one here, as I said, must be 70 degrees. This one here must be 70 degrees. Okay? Right. Well, you also know that this is a cyclic quadrilateral, so you also know that this angle here must be 110 degrees. So I could state that BCD is 110 degrees because it's cyclic, so opposite angles add to 180, so cyclic quad. Right. And lastly, what are we trying to work out, by the way? DBC, we're trying to work out this angle here. It's quite easy to get that angle. Because these are parallel, these two must be interior angles. These two here must be interior angles, okay? So therefore, the entire angle CBA must be equal to 70 degrees. Okay, and that's because it's interior. So therefore, DBC, D to B to C, must be 70 degrees. Take away the 40 from here. So it must be 30 degrees. So 30 degrees is your answer. Do show all your working as you go along. Question 17. Cuboid A is smaller than cuboid B. Cuboid B has volume of 120 centimeters cubed. Work out the volume of cuboid A. Well, the volume of a cuboid is the surface area of the front, so that would be 2x multiplied by 4, which is 8x. That would be the area, times by the depth, so it would be 8x times 2y, which would be 16xy. Okay, that's the volume of this shape, and we know it's equal to 120 centimeters cubed. Now, the volume of this shape must be x times 2 times y, which is 2xy, right? So, if you know the volume of this shape is 2xy, and the volume of this shape is 16xy, which you know is equal to 120, and the question is, what's the volume of cuboid A? Well, it's an eighth of that, so you divide 120 by 8, okay, or you work out 120 over 8. 4 goes into both of these, so you divide both, let's say, by 4, and you get 30 over 2, which is 15. So it's 15 centimeters cubed. Okay, question 18. The histogram shows times taken by groups to students to complete the fitness test. Remember, in the histogram, the area of each bar equals the frequency. Okay, so straight away when I see these, I just work out the areas. This here would be 0.6 multiplied by 15, so it would be 0.6 multiplied by 15. Well, 6 times 15 is 90, so 0.6 times 15 is 9. This one here, that's 10 multiplied by 0.8, so that would be 10 multiplied by 0.8, which is 8. This one will be 10 multiplied by 1.6, which would be 16. This one is 5 multiplied by 2.4, so 2.4 times 5. 5 times 2 is 10, 5 times 4, 0.4 is 2, so this would be 12. This one here would be 5 multiplied by 1.8, so 5 multiplied by 1.8. 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 0.8 is 4, so this would add up to 9. And this last one here is 15 multiplied by 0.4, so 15 multiplied by 0.4. 15 times 4 is equal to 60, so 15 times 0.4 must equal 6. So we've got 9, 8, 16, 12, 9, and 6. How many students took the test? Oh, basically it's asking us to add these up. So I would just show all the working I did previously, write that calculation equals 9, that calculation equals 8, that calculation is 16, that calculation is 12, that calculation is 9, that calculation is 6, add them all up and you will get 60. Now, work out the following indices. 81 to the negative 3 over 4. First things first. Before I do one like this, what I like to do is I would like to work at 81 to the positive 3/4. Okay, forget about the negative. And the way I always do these, I did these in the previous videos, that's 81 to the 1/4 all to the power of 3. Always take that top number out and leave the unit fraction, the 1 over, inside. Now 81 to the quarter means the 4th root of 81, and all of that is cubed. Now the 4th root of 81, what times by itself 4 times gets you 81? Well, 3 does. So this is 3 cubed, which is equal to 27. Now 81 to the negative 3/4 is 1 over 81 to the 3/4. That's what the negative means. The negative means 1 over. So therefore this answer is 1 over 27. Now it's a good distinguisher between A and A star. At the end of the day, if you're struggling with that, it's only 2 marks, so don't stress out too much. Question 20. Work out the values of A and B such that the following is true. Basically, to get from that form to that form is called completing the square. Okay, so basically all they're asking you to do is go from x squared, subtract 8x plus 3 to the square form. Remember how you do this. You draw brackets. X goes in there and a square goes outside. Then you've got a subtract, so you write subtract. You halve the number in front of the x, 4. Then what you do is you square that number in your head. You get 16. You don't want 16, you want plus 3. Okay, so therefore to adjust 16 to get to 3, you subtract 13. Therefore, what is your A? Is subtract A, and you've got subtract 4. Your A must be 4. What is your B? It's plus B, so your B must be negative 13. Okay, another way of doing it, if you don't really like that method, another way of doing it, I'm going to leave the answer there. What you could do is you could leave the left-hand side as that, and you could expand the right-hand side, x minus a multiplied by x minus a plus b. But if you expand that, you get x squared minus 2ax plus a squared plus b. So you would get x squared minus 2ax plus a squared plus b. Now, the number in front of the x squareds has to be the same. They are. There's a 1 there, the 1 there, so that's fine. Okay, the number in front of the x has to be the same. So negative 2a must be equal to negative 8. Divide by negative 2, a must be equal to 4. That's what we got before. So we've dealt with that one now. And lastly, a squared plus b must equal 3. A squared plus b must be 3. Well, you know a is 4. So a squared is 16 plus b is equal to 3. Take away 16, b is equal to negative 13. We got the same as we did before. I prefer just completing the square. I think it's way easier. Just make sure you get your minuses the right way around. Question 21, last question. In each part, the graph of y is x squared is shown. On this graph, sketch the graph of y is equal to x squared subtract 1. Let's just think what we've done here. We've got the graph y is x squared, and we've just taken 1 away from it. We've taken 1 away from the y values. So this whole graph here, which I'm going to, is actually just being shifted down 1 to here. And that point there would be a 0, negative 1. This subtract 1 has just meant the whole graph gets moved downwards by 1. Okay, here's the graph of y equals x squared. There's a 2 in front of it. All we've done here is we've doubled the x squared value. We've squared it and then we've doubled it. So it will still go through here, but it will be more steeper like that. Sorry, it will be more steep like that, and it will be more steep like that. Simple as that, y is equal to 2x squared. And that's it. We have completed this practice paper now. Thank you for watching.